So far we have not really made a serious video, so we're gonna give it a whirl. We just recently bought the Redcat Kaiju, looking for something that was different than what we had, which is a Redcat Everest 10 that has a huge amount of new parts and modifications to it, and a team associated Pro SC 4x4. We've had a lot of fun with both of those, and we figured our next truck should be something completely different. So we went with the Redcat Kaiju for a couple of reasons. One was the price point, knowing that it's a 6S and that we were going to have to spend some money on batteries. We kind of made the decision to do some research and found that the Redcat Kaiju had a lot of the same features as some of the other more expensive 6S 1/8 scale or close to 1/8 scale trucks out there. So we've run it a bit. We have some videos of going pretty much full speed with it, crashing it, flipping it, and whatever. And here you'll see our broken part, which is the wheel hub carrier. So we've kind of had a long wait due to coronavirus for parts. So we bought some JB Weld plastic bonder. It's a 15-minute set. Comes in this little epoxy syringe. And it happens to have a pretty decent amount of strength to it. So we took it out yesterday and beat on it for 10 minutes or so, and it snapped again. Interestingly enough, it didn't snap in the exact same spot. It actually snapped, which you really can't see because I really glopped it on here this time, in another spot. So I don't know, it's kind of interesting to see that it held up in some areas. So hopefully, putting all this extra on here, we let it set a lot longer. We're gonna go try it again today and see how it handles, but that's kind of our one thing. Now, we did a standing back flip off of a tree, and it went about 10 feet in the air and slammed down into the ground. So I will put that disclaimer that it didn't just randomly happen, like we were beating on it. Otherwise, there's a kind of a funny video out that we did where we took it out for our first run. And you'll notice that I'm saying, ow, the motor's really hot. Well, it was crazy hot. So we bought this dual fan Power Hobby heat sink and fans based off of another video that we found on YouTube. We made a small cut into it where the screws don't fit. I don't know if you guys can see back in there or not, but there's two screws. One is like a lock screw for the set on your spacing between your motor, the spur and pinion gear, which is underneath here, which is quite stout. And then I just ran the wiring up through. It took quite a bit of work to get all the wiring figured out. I would say if you have questions about it, leave, I don't know if you can comment on videos or not, but if you can, leave questions. There's some really goofy little stuff that goes into wiring into this box, and even now you can see like it's starting to flex up a little bit, so I'll have to try and get that back to where it's supposed to be. It's a lot of stuff getting bashed into this tiny little spot right in here. So we got the T, the receiver, and all the wiring in there. So there's the lighting, now the fans, so there's back and front light, and the stuff for the servo and the ESC. So that's quite a bit, but it's doable. It just takes time and patience. The T is kind of interesting. So it has a really weird, I shouldn't say really weird, but for the Redcat it doesn't fit, the connector doesn't fit. So feel free to ask questions. I'm not going to dive any further into that. But the reason I wanted to make this video is because this truck is awesome. It's not perfect by any means, but for $400 plus whatever you spend on batteries to get the 6S or 4S or whatever you want to do, it's an absolute riot. The shocks we noticed, you'll notice that black dot on there. We did some tuning, just trying to get to the point where we had some stability in the suspension. We moved shock mount out to the furthest out to try and get a little bit more stability. When you let off the throttle on this, there's a huge amount of nosedive, so we're trying to figure out what to do with that. It doesn't flip over or anything. And I noticed a lot of people said that they busted their front bumper right away. We haven't had that issue. I just want to show you this. Like, I don't know if everybody's is like that or not, but man, I mean, this thing is taking a beating. You can see, if you look up close on these shackles here, But I mean, like, we are not being nice to this. So I don't know, it's getting beat on and it's not breaking. One of the things we noticed right away is that I tried to do just a quick, like, full throttle run on blacktop, and I'll show you this. This is kind of our, I don't know which one I call it, Hodge together. It's a Traxxas skid plate, but it doesn't really fit on this body. So I cut it and epoxied it to fit. I'm trying to figure out how to make it orange instead of black where I cut it, so I'll have to figure that out. So pretty much what we've done is we added the dual fans and the heatsink first. Got all that figured out. And then this broke. We've so far tried to do our epoxy fix. But the truck holds up really, really well. Couldn't tell you what the speed is, but we just downloaded an app. We can find out how fast it's actually going on 6S. We did have to reorder a battery because this will actually drain your battery quicker than you think. So we actually ended up getting an unbalanced battery because of this fan system. So something to think about and remember that those fans are running all the time. Other than that, we might go a few more steps with the body at some point. But really, it's just great the way it is. But that's it. We're gonna put it back together and run it tonight and maybe do a very short follow-up to this. See how it goes tonight, and hopefully we don't snap that off, and hopefully we get parts sooner than later from Redcat. Hello again. We are going to do just a quick run on 3S since we're out for a walk anyway. Got some new Japanese stickers. It's a Kaiju in Japanese. So we moved the Kaiju sticker up here, and we moved the Japanese ones down here. All right, so it held up. The wheel hub didn't break. We didn't go crazy with it. Of course, I was the one that did one cartwheel. Got some grass in there from really thick grass. Got a new friendship bracelet in orange for the Kaiju. Stickers held up well. Everything looks good. So should have parts in a few days, and then we can go at her again. Or continue to go at it since it didn't break. Kaiju parking. Back of the stroller.